Egghead News. This is Tracy Spivey 4994. This is Egghead News introduction to another collaborative with the good folks over at Nerd Generation. And oh yeah, if you're new to Egghead's Entertainment YouTube channel, do the right thing. That's right, do the right thing. Be sure to subscribe for all the exciting news about the genre that we love to listen to and love to talk about. Anyway, with the success of one collaborative between Egghead News and Nerd Generation, that's right, the MCU Future Series. And oh yeah, by the way, thank you so very, very much. We really appreciate it. So with that, we decided to talk about the kids that live across the street. Oh, come on, you know. We're talking about the WB and DC films. Now with all that said and a pretty introduction, let's get it.
In the decade of the 1930s, even the great city of Metropolis was not spared the ravages of the worldwide depression. In the times of fear and confusion, the job of informing the public was the responsibility of the Daily Planet, a great metropolitan newspaper whose reputation for clarity and truth had become a symbol of hope for the city of Metropolis.
Man, oh Superman. This was the movie that broke the ice, and we just had to pay homage. This was a great time being a kid, ladies and gentlemen, but we want to share that experience with you. And like I said before, we had to pay homage to the one that started it all. What a great movie. Anyway, time goes forward. The 1970s became the 1980s. There weren't any other DC movies in production. There was nothing else going on for the silver screen. But things were about to change, oh yeah. Don't call it a comeback. It was the pushback to all things whack. That's right, pop culture got popping. The okie doke was up in smoke. We love sci-fi. And just when you think things couldn't get any better. Yes, Batman is a 1989 American superhero film directed by Tim Burton and produced by John Peters and Peter Gruber, based on the DC Comics character of the same name. It is the first installment of Warner Brothers' initial Batman film series. The film stars Jack Nicholson as the Joker, Michael Keaton as Batman Bruce Wayne, alongside Kim Basinger, Robert Wuhl, Peter Hingle, Billy D. Williams, Michael Gould, and of course Jack Palance, believe it or not. The film takes place early in the title character's war on crime and it depicts the war that he had initially with the Joker. The tone and themes of the film were influenced in part by Alan Moore and Brian Boland's The Killing Joke and Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. The film primarily adapts the Red Hood origin story for the Joker, in which Batman inadvertently creates the Joker by causing him to fall into Axis Chemicals' acid, resulting in the transformation into a psychopath. But it adds a unique twist in presenting him specifically as a gangster named Jack Napier, Yeah. Well, I'm not going to tell you guys how to feel about this, but this was the beginning. This was the foundation. Warner Brothers had made two films, Superman 1977 and Batman 1989. This was the foundation that they were going to build their DC superhero universe. There were sequels to both sets of franchises. And as we can look back, it looks like Lady Luck had different fortunes for both franchises. Superman 2 went on and broke single records. It even surpassed Star Wars on initial first day and second day. It made a lot of money back then, Superman 2. And it was critically acclaimed. People loved it. The fans loved it. We had General Zod, Ursula, and Nan, and it went on. But then Superman 3, wow, what happened? We don't even talk about it. We look back at Superman 2. It was a good sequel. Remember, they shot that movie back to back. That was one of the first times that was ever done. But that was done back in the 70s. Batman Returns. That's right, Batman Returns with Michael Keaton. This time Tim Burton brought in Catwoman and the Penguin. Catwoman was played by Michelle Pfeiffer, and of course the Penguin was played admirably by Danny DeVito. This was a sequel to the 1989 blockbuster. No Jack Nicholson, no Joker. Let's see if it can make its way. But this movie had a different feel about it. This movie wasn't, I don't know, it was still Tim Burton, but it just didn't have it. But of course, Catwoman was a superstar. Michelle Pfeiffer's career took off. She was notably known for Catwoman. So many memes and things followed it. Once again, as we said, Lady Luck played a different hand and a different role. But once again, let's get back to it. WB had the Batman titles. Batman Returns 1992, Batman Forever 1995, and of course, Batman and Robin 1997, which everybody just seems to remember old Arnold Schwarzenegger playing Mr. Freeze. Oh, man. Joe Schumacher changed the face of the game. We wouldn't know what happened to the Batman franchise, but that's what it was. So then, once again, as good little eggheads, we just sat back in the cut and wait to see what would happen next. We crossed our fingers. we wished upon a star, and we just sat back and waited. The future. We're looking forward to it. That's right, boys and girls. It was the year 2000. Oh, man, a lot of things came to mind. We thought about the Jetsons, remember? We thought we'd have flying cars, automatic cooks, didn't have to go to school. And oh, man, little did we know. DC Films was back on track, and they came out with another one. And this one took us by storm. I say storm on purpose, because she was over in the guys across the street. She was over in the X-Men movies. Remember? Storm? Anyway. Catwoman is a 2004 American superhero film loosely based on the DC comics of the same character of the same name. Directed by Piloff and written by John Rogers, John Bercanto, and Michael Ferris, with music by Klaus Blitz. The film stars Halle Berry in the title role, Benjamin Bratt, Lambert Wilson, Francis Conroy, Alex Borstein, and of course, the great Sharon Stone. Produced by Village Roadhouse Pictures and Denise DeVonis for Denise DeVonis Picture. Catwoman was released theatrically on July 23, 2004 by Warner Brothers Pictures and was a critical and commercial failure. Where do we begin? Grossing $82 million against a budget of $100 million. The film received 7 Golden Raspberry Awards. Let me do this right now. The film received 7 Golden Raspberry Award nominations and won in the categories of Worst Picture, Worst Actress, Worst Director, and Worst Screenplay. Many critics consider it to be one of the worst films of all time, where it was criticized for Barry's performance and perceived lack of connection with the Batman. Yeah, it's time to move on. All right, people, let's get back at it. It was a year later, the year 2005, the year of the rooster. We had our president, We had our fashion, non-fashion, whatever you want to call it. We had our tragedies also. We look back, tip our hats. There's a lot of things that happened in that year, as you can see on our little reminder. But getting back to DC Films, they put it together. They went back to the Batcave and said, let's do something different. Maybe that'll work. So they went to the shelves. They pulled out a book. They didn't pull out your regular book. They pulled out a totally different book. That's right. They pulled out Hellblazer. And with that, they pulled out that man. A new premise. A new way. Let's make a movie completely different than what we're used to making. Obviously, Catwoman didn't work. So let's do a little supernatural. Let's do a little something magical. That's right, boys and girls. DC Films went to the shelf and they pulled out John Constantine. That's right. But they had a good guy to lead this. They got Keanu Reeves. That's right. Neo himself. They put as the lead in John Constantine. Now, I don't know what the people's problem was. I love this movie. Now, if you weren't into DC Vertigo comic books, maybe you didn't know. But DC Vertigo comic books was a completely different breed. It wasn't a regular superhero book. That's right. No, they got into stuff that most people don't like to talk about. Most people don't like to whisper about. DC Vertigo comics usually went bump in the night, and that usually scared everybody. But let's do this by the numbers. Constantine is a 2005 occult detective film by Francis Lewis. Starred Keanu Reeves, as I said before, John Constantine. Rachel Weisz, Shia LaBeouf, that was before the Transformers. Tilda Swinton, she just came off of Narnia. Cruella Vince, Damon Hunsu, we love that man. Gavin Rosedale, produced by Laura Schuler. Donna, can surprise that. The X-Men people were in the house. Amazing. Also Michael Uslan, who also produces all the Batman film projects. I should have known something. I guess that was a hint. The character John Constantine was introduced by comic book writer Alan Moore while writing Swamp Thing. First appeared in June 1985, and in 1988, the character of John Constantine was given his own book, and the title was called Hellblazer, published by DC Comics. Constantine was released in the United States and Canada on February 18th, 2005, and in Hong Kong on February 8th, 2005. The film grossed $230.9 million worldwide from a $100 million budget. Now, boys and girls, I'm going to break the stream right here. I usually won't go outside of the main topic, but John Constantine went on, and as I said before, I was a fan of this movie. I didn't know what happened. I don't know what the public rejection of the movie was, but as you can see, it went on to do many more things. It even went to the smaller screen, which was great. Back in 2011 on MTV Splash Page, the director, Mr. Lewis, said there was potential for a sequel. Then in 2012, it was rumored that Guillermo del Toro might be considering a feature film, including John Constantine. But it was unconfirmed. That was supposed to be the Justice League Dark that was supposed to come out, remember? And then finally in 2019, Keanu Reeves said, you know what? He's open to playing Constantine again. I don't blame him. I love this character. Obviously, see, he's the character's still going on. The character never stopped. Constantine.